Folks, what's going on? This is Arden here, bringing you into a new edition of The Punch-In. First things first, we hope all is well with you and your family and loved ones. Of course, from the Forsyth family, we make sure you're staying safe. Get one of these. Trust me, they're very helpful. Wash your hands to do much more. Today's guest is somebody that I actually was looking into, and I was like, when was the last time we had this good brother on the show? And it was episode 61 of the Forsyth podcast, November of 2018. And I remember I was going crazy because you had a cover. I forgot the cover, but you had something in the beginning. You was like, the things you say you do. And I was like, oh, this is insane. This boy's the future of R&B. Whoever heard him, I need to know more because this music is hot. And this dude, ever since then, in my honest opinion, whether we're talking about in our neck of the woods of Westchester County, throughout the entire tri-state, and even just throughout the entire East Coast, and soon to be the entire nation, I honestly think this guy is one of the most talented people that I've honestly have ever met and gotten to know in his music business. I mean, whether we're talking about his ability to do whatever he can do as an artist.
What it take for me to get your number? What it take for me to get your number? What it take for me to get you home right now? What it take for me to get your number? What it take for me to get your number? What it take for me to get you home right now? Yeah. Baby, I got one chance, so let me take your number down. See the way you tease me, gon' make me take you home right now.
As an exec, as a creative overall, I'm always impressed by this guy, and so far, so good. We got the good brother Dajour in the building. What's up, man?
What's going on, baby?
Everything's good. Of course, you gotta do that dap at the beginning of each episode that we've seen for years at a time.
100%.
First things first, man, before we really get into it all, man, because I know this has been underway. This has been something we've been planning and something that you really wanted to do. How have you been feeling, man?
I've been maintaining, bro. I've been blessed. I'm not gonna lie to you. My daughter's good. My woman's good. Her daughter's good. The family's great. My little brother's underneath the wing officially. I got a slew of artists underneath us right now. Prince Da Vinci, Jimmy Yayo. We're just doing really well, honestly speaking. We're good. I'm in a really happy place mentally, and I can't complain. I'll complain about that,
Nice. And as we get into this, Dajour, just thinking back to since we spoke on the show, I've seen you over the last year and some change balance out between being active in the music business while also taking some time away. How would you describe what has happened in the last year and a half?
I just took a step back, just internally, everything that was going on with the company and what we were doing. I took a step back to just learn how to handle my business and really understand the music business, really how to attack it the appropriate way, how to apply a formula that I've seen work for myself to other artists, how to mix and master, how to produce, just any different way that I can help the creative, the aspiring creative, you know what I'm saying? So this last year and a half that I haven't dropped a record, I haven't done anything, it's really just been focused on that and just getting right myself, so.
And that's something that really intrigued me because it was like, again, at the time we had first met, you had the Slow Wine record.
Right.
You had the really dope project you dropped over the summer. Mm-hmm. The freestyles, you know what I mean? And it was something that intrigued me because it was like, yo, this dude is not active. And then it's like, when he is active, you're active in a whole nother light. And it's like, why would anybody, especially when they was having the run you was having, do that? Was that something that was truly a part of the plans, or did life happen?
Honestly, bro, it's really more of a spiritual awakening. I just seen what the music business does to individuals, to artists, to aspiring artists. I seen what it does to your dream, This is something that I've dreamed about since I was 4 or 5 years old, for other reasons I'm not going to get into right now. But, realistically, I can't even really put it into words. Like, I just don't, I want it still, but I want to see others make it more than I want to see myself make it. I don't want to deal with the headache of paparazzi and thousands of people. You can't live your life.
Yeah.
You know, you can't live your life. And as far as a hobby, as far as a passion, I'll continue to do it. I'll continue to release a record. I'll continue to promote it, you know, but I just won't go as hard as on myself as I will my artists, my little brother, you know, my two little brothers, you know what I'm saying, Prince Da Vinci and Jay Bands. Like I just won't, you know, because I'm just at a point where it's like I'm content. I'm making money, you know what I'm saying? We got the studio, we got the business, and I'm just happy where I'm at, you know what I'm saying? I did the slow wine thing, we did the tours, we opened up for this person, that person.
Yeah,
we did the
you was
BET,
touring.
you know
I
what I'm
remember.
saying? Yeah, exactly.
You was touring. I was like,
You know?
oh, this dude is.
And we could have kept
Got to be out
going.
here,
That's the
yeah.
thing. We could have kept going, but I was just at a point where it's just like, you know, is this really what I want? You know, I have a little daughter, you know, so I got to think about every single thing. It's not just me anymore, you know, it's my little daughter, it's my girl and her daughter, you know what I'm saying? It's my little brother, it's my family, you know. Even now, amongst Westchester, I'm kind of known. So when I go places, people stop me, want to talk to me, want to, you know what I'm saying? And it's just kind of like, do I want to deal with this on a larger scale? I'm not sure, you know? So that's really where it's at for me personally.
You know, when speaking about the development aspect of working with new talent that's honestly younger talent, you know, what has been some of your earliest lessons learned from that during these interactions with your two younger brothers and other artists you getting in the fold? What is something that you learned along the way when it came to just developing talent?
I've learned to just be there. You know what I'm saying? A lot of engineers, a lot of producers, a lot of people just out for a check. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people just out for money. They want, you know, $180, $200 an hour for the studio time. They want $350, $450, $1,000 for an exclusive production. You know what I'm saying? But realistically, I've learned to just be there and be in love. You know, be in love with what you're doing. You know, if you don't love it, it's a job. We don't want this to feel like a job. We don't want this to be a thing that is like, I have to wake up at this time. We want this to be a thing where it's a choice. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I want to do this. I need to do this because I feel it, you know? So as far as developing artists, I love it, bro, because it's like I get to showcase my talent and you don't need to know it's me, you know? Because realistically, bro, how I think is, if it's coming from me, a lot more people will hate. A lot more people will not buy, will not invest into whatever I'm producing because they don't want to see me win. Now, if you don't know it's coming from me, you know what I'm saying, you're more than likely to buy it or more than likely to indulge in it because, you know, you like it. You can't lie. You like it. You like what we're doing. You like
Honestly,
the music we're
it
producing,
reminds
you know?
me of, there's this movie I recently watched on Netflix, and I recommend it to the audience here. It's called Trombone. It stars Bryan Caston, who you may know from Breaking Bad.
Right.
Walter White or whatever his name was. And it's a real life movie about a famous scriptwriter back in the 50s that was blacklisted from Hollywood because he was a communist.
Right.
So the U.S. government and John Wayne and these folks went after him. He even went to jail for a year. And part of his comeback was the fact that he's like, well, Dalton Trombone can't write and be known,
Right.
but I could use these other names. So he ended up writing these Oscar-winning movies under different names and stuff.
Right.
Until obviously times have changed. So what you said reminded me of Dalton because it got to the point where it literally became like an art within itself. Like I can literally create and showcase through different people,
exactly,
and
know
you
what I'm
wouldn't
saying?
know. But it's like you're loving what I'm doing without knowing it's me.
Right.
And even from your journey as somebody that is now in the position to help, it's been so dope to me because it's like I can relate to it through, you know, fortunately I've been blessed enough in the last year. I've been invited to speak at colleges.
Right.
I have younger people in the media game. They look at me as a big bro or OG and how they, you know, want to mimic or at least speak to.
Emulate, you're right.
Yeah,
right,
but it's more just about the fact that it takes a lot of selflessness to say, hey, for as much as I can go far and do something, I'll go farther in another role that may take me from the spotlight.
Exactly, and that really just comes from the discipline of being active duty military. You know, active duty army. You know, we have 7 core army values, and one of them is selflessness. You know what I'm saying? Is doing for others. You know, and I honestly, my family, we've always taken pride and pleasure into doing for others. If I can make my little brother pop, I'm satisfied. If I can make my younger artists or even, you know, anybody that's associated with us, if I can make you pop, I'm satisfied. I don't need a check up front.
And there's a difference between being satisfied with the work, well, not the work, your help, versus trying to live vicariously through somebody else.
100%.
There's a huge difference. And you brought up, again, you don't have to touch on it long, but you brought up the military values. And for something like that, just that entire experience, how does that necessarily influence what is your career in music? Like, what could you take realistically from serving in the military to working in music?
It's the discipline. It's the discipline and the attention to detail, the observational awareness, being able to focus and lock into one specific thing, an idea at a time. You know what I'm saying? They say jack of all trade, master of none. You know, so learning how to be a master at what you're doing takes lock in. You know, block everything out. Don't focus on anything else. Focus on this one thing. You know, I focused on producing for, I want to say, 5 months, and I learned how to use FL. I learned how to mix. I learned how to master. I learned how to do so much just by blocking everything out. You know, I'm not going to parties. I want to make the shit you partying too. You know what I'm saying? Like that was my mentality. I applied that to myself. I applied that to my hustle, and I saw success. And I just kept going that same route. I kept going that same road. You know, as far as being an A&R, developer, executive, whatever you want to call me, you know, it's just sitting down and working with artists and just taking what I can do for myself and applying it to you. You know what I'm saying? From singing to songwriting to rapping, whatever it may be, I'm here to help. You know what I'm saying? I just sat down and I figured out a formula, and now I just apply that same formula, you know, with slight variations, of course, depending on subjected to genre and type of artist, you know, whatever it may be. But I just took that and I just applied it, and I see it work, and I see where Prince Da Vinci is growing. I see where Jay Benz is growing. I see where, you know, Jimmy Yayo is growing. I see where Vibes is growing. I see where I'm growing, you know what I'm saying? So it's working, you know, and I'm not mad at it, you know, and it's a comfortable situation to be in, you know. So I can say the military, you know, inspired me to apply whatever I learned there to music by just discipline, if I had to sum it up.
Focusing on one thing and becoming a master at that.
Exactly.
I've seen you, again, during the same time span of the last year and a half, not only be more improved and, I guess, as near masterful as one could be, seeing you as an artist, but again, this exec, studio owner, label operator. As much as it takes to, again, focus on one thing and be a master, how does one able to apply it when over the course of the same time span I'm putting you in, it's like, again, bro, I'm seeing you wear all kinds of hats.
It's
you know
hard.
What I'm saying? Like,
it's hard,
It's
bro.
very impressive. It's very
hard.
impressive to say the least.
I appreciate that. It's really hard, if I'm being honest with you. You know, I barely sleep, bro. You know, funny story, when I joined the Army, I was 141 pounds. That was the lightest I ever been in my life. I was coming from the streets. I was coming from trapping, living on my own. By the time I finished my 9 weeks of basic training, I was 175 pounds. After I got out the Army, I want to say up until a month ago, I was 150 something pounds. You feel me? I turned around, I'm 165, 170 pounds now. You know what I'm saying? So realistically, it's a lot of work, you know, it's a lot of, you don't sleep a lot, you know, you're mixing, you're taking phone calls, you're, you know, writing songs for other people, you're, you know, setting up marketing plans 60, 90 days out, whatever it may be, when to post on Instagram, targeted demographics when it comes to running advertising. It's a lot of work, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a lot of work. But if you want the best, if you strive for the best, if you're looking for the best, it's not gonna stop you. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna find a way to fit it in. You're gonna find a way to make it work with your schedule. And that's just what it's been for me. It's like, you know, I got tired of spending $400 or $500 every weekend at a studio. So it was like, that money that I'm spending there, let me put 15, 20,000 into building my own studio. You know, and that's really where it came from. Let me learn how to mix and master my own records. I don't have to pay no engineer to do it for me. You know what I'm saying? And
there's always a point like that where it comes to, as a creative, for folks to understand, it gets to a point where you learn how to invest time,
Right.
and then you start learning how to invest money.
Right.
And
Right.
it gets to a point where learning how to invest money will elevate you into taking the next steps. Because that's something that, of course, over the years, let's say, for example, with Foreside,
Right.
I've started understanding because personally, Arden, invested thousands of dollars into making this happen. But
As you should.
yeah, exactly. And I'm totally fine with it. But it starts hitting different when you start realizing, like, okay, what are the other ways I can invest? Oh, okay, let me get some merch. Let me start getting stuff for the
real estate,
team. Let
whatever it
me
may be, yeah.
let me secure the services of somebody who I really trust and dope and G behind the camera. Let me start renting out office locations for me to work and meet with people. So you start seeing that and you realize, like, oh snap, this makes me feel good. Like even with the merch, like, yo, I've been wearing my own stuff recently, getting compliments and everything. Like,
buy nothing.
yeah, you know, like the business aspect, like I know, like, hey, like I might have dropped a few hundred or a stack here, but it's for something I care about.
Right. It's
Like,
something
damn,
that proves to be lucrative.
legal fees kicked my butt, but guess who owns the name?
Right.
Guess who's paying towards LOCs and things like that? The Don. You know what I mean? So I hear you.
It makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense.
I hear you.
You can't go wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? Ownership. You know, and that's what I employ every artist that I work with in any kind of joint venture capacity. I tell them all the time. You know, don't look for somebody to invest in you. Don't look for an investment deal from a major record label or some type of angel investor. You know, you get offered $250,000 and then tax 20-30% interest rate, 4 or 5 album deal. You know what I'm saying? You owe them forever. You're not going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? They own 80%, 90% of your masters, your publishing, your distribution. You're not seeing no money. That advancement is all you about to get for the next 5 to 10 years. You know what I'm saying? I offer an opportunity for you to have the major record resources and you set the terms and parameter of the agreement. You know what I'm saying? And so and that's where we came in. We've been working with so many different artists on some type of a joint venture capacity. You know what I'm saying? And that's just where we've been at. Even, you know, not to put business out there, but even Prince Da Vinci, like, you know, Prince Da Vinci is a Label 9 artist, but he came to us with his own budget. We didn't have to invest into him. You know what I'm saying? So he's a situation where he got to leverage the conversation of his splits, his royalties, his publishing, his
more like
masters, this, that, and-
partnerships.
you know what I'm saying? It's more of a joint venture partnership. So it's like, yeah, you can be underneath the Label 9 umbrella or you can be underneath any umbrella, but what you want is distribution.
Yeah.
You don't want to be locked in for the next 10,
Yeah.
5-10 years to any one label, any one entity, you know what I'm saying? So ownership is the way to go, period. You know, that's what we're looking for.
And
That's
honestly,
what
I
we
love
call
that
it.
last part because, again, that's something that I could totally understand and relate to with even with my sports writing career. When building up my own platform, it gets to the point, like all creatives, where you want to get on bigger platforms. So when I
100%.
was going to bigger platforms
100%.
like SB Nation or USA Today, I was going more with that angle. Like, I know what you can do for me, but I know what I can do for you.
Right. You know
Let's
what you
help
bring to
each
the
other
table.
out.
Right.
If a bag's involved, the bag's involved, or whatever the case may be. But it's not one of those things where I'm completely selling out to you.
Right.
And that leads me into, and that's why I love doing these interviews, because even when I have topics ready, I get alley-ooped extra questions.
Right.
That's right. Thank you, Dajour. When it comes to what's happening now in the music business, right? Over and over, we're hearing about bad contracts. Over and over, we're hearing the terms, the splits, masters, publishing, I don't own this, I don't own that. And it happens a lot. And of course, it's like this cycle. When it comes down to it, man, should the general public ever really feel bad for artists despite these stories we continue getting over and over?
Can I curse?
Yeah, of course.
All right. It's broke nigga mentality, bro. That's what it boils down to. It's broke nigga mentality. You have people that have never had money. These labels approach them, overwhelm them with some type of advancement, right? But they don't understand that these advancements are just loans. You know what I'm saying? You're getting a loan, essentially. You know what I'm saying? You're getting literally, you know, it's like it's the equivalent of you going to a bank and saying, listen, I have a business, I have decent credit, can I get approved for a $10, $15, $20,000 loan? You know what I'm saying? So all of that being said, you know, as far as the business goes, I personally do feel bad because a lot of these artists don't know. They don't know better. You know, I kid you not, I've spoken to about 5 artists within the last...
Sorry to cut you off, but how is that still possible?
What do you mean?
How is it still possible for an artist to not know? Because I have a feeling towards that, but I want you to get your answer
Because
off.
they don't read. A lot of artists don't read, you know what I'm saying? You can speak on shit that you don't know about, you know what I'm saying? They don't read, you know what I'm saying? It's when you talk about the language of a contract, right? If you actually sit down and take time to digest what a contract is talking about, whatever stipulations may be involved, you know, you can actually understand it. You know, you don't have to go to law school to understand these contracts. When they're talking about splits, when they're talking about distribution, when they're talking about royalties, whatever it may be, it's pretty straightforward. You know what I'm saying? At least as far as our contracts go, it's pretty straightforward. You know, you get this percent, we get this percent. We have to do this, you have to do that. If there's any kind of interference, if there's any kind of whatever it may be, these are the repercussions. It's pretty straightforward. You know, it's not hard to understand. And yeah, some majors get really, really freaky with these language. You know what I'm saying? With this language, you know. But realistically, you know, it's pretty straightforward to understand, and it's kind of hard. It's kind of you can empathize with them because it's sad, you know. Like a lot of these artists don't know, they don't understand that. Yo, you're signing your life away. When the industry talks about selling your soul, whatever it may be, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about these contracts that you're locked into for 5 to 10 years, and you're not making barely 10, 20% of what you're actually bringing in, and it's unfortunate, you know. I personally feel bad for them, which is why I employ all aspiring creatives, all aspiring artists to invest in yourself. Don't wait for a label deal. If you got to trap. If you got to steal. If you got to hustle. If you got to go to a 9 to 5, go to a 9 to 5. Figure out how you can get your own budget and put it behind yourself, because when you make your royalties, when you make whatever it is that you make out of that, you own 100% of that. You don't have to cut no deal with nobody else, you know? So that's where we're at with it, you know? And I personally do feel bad. So to answer your question, yes, you know, it's an unfortunate, you know, circumstance, but it happens. Yeah, you know?
It's one of those things where, and again, these conversations go on all the time, and it's one of those things where it's like, I empathize with artists to an extent, but it's still like, there's so many of these stories. There's so much information out there. And I think certain artists, before we move on from this topic, certain artists hide behind, oh, I'm an artist and I'm just focused on working.
When you're creating.
And it's like, how is that the case where, again, these stories are coming to you? It's not even a matter of, yo, let me Google it or go to school or study. It's like, fam, on your IG, United Masters and these other platforms are telling you what's happening with these contracts. So it's like, how can you be in a position? And it's also something where it's like, again, I could totally understand people are broke, and people are desperate. But it's like, what is continuing the be broke or whatever it is when you know you're getting to the point where you are this close to getting there? Just understanding the positives to continue to go along this path, continue to understand what it means to own and to do these things instead of taking just the short way to success that's not long lasting.
Honestly, don't look at the big bag in your face. Look at what you're accumulating. There's a story, right? And I'm a big person on scenarios, analogies, metaphors, whatever it may be. And there's a story of, you know, the man who accepts a penny that doubles every day for 31 days, and the man who accepts $1 million up front. You know, look it up, Google it, right? So long story short, don't look at what they're throwing in your face. Look at what you're doing on a consistent basis. You know what I'm saying? Look at the fact that you're making $1,000, 2, 3 every week. You know what I'm saying? 2, 3 a week. You know what I'm saying? Look at the fact that you're making $2,000 a month, whatever it may be, and find different ways to be innovative and create opportunities for yourself. We threw a pool party here. You know what I'm saying? We threw a pool party here last year where we were charging people. At one point, we started charging people $45 to $50 a head to get in through the gate. We're not even talking about just to be in the pool. Just get through the gate. You know what I'm saying? We had 300 plus people here. You do the math. Figure out what that math is. I took that math and I invested in myself. You know what I'm saying? You don't need these major labels. I've seen $50,000, $60,000 in my bank account at one time. You feel me? Waking up to that is beautiful. You know, and not owing nobody, not having to say, oh, I gotta pay this investor, I gotta pay this company, I gotta pay. Bro, I don't owe nobody nothing. I own my BMW. You feel me? I don't rent it. I don't lease it. I don't finance the own. I own it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm employing is ownership. You feel what I'm saying? Stop. I had an artist recently that, you know, on the record, he quoted me at $100,000 budget. He has investors, this, that, and the third. I can get $100,000 like that. When it came down to locking in the deal, he didn't want to do it no more. He said, he literally said in quotations, I need investors. And I'm like, bro, you have access to $100,000 and you need investors? Excuse my French, but what the fuck do you need a label for? You know what I'm saying? Why are you waiting for somebody to invest in you and you have access to those kind of funds? Yeah. That makes no sense to me. If you can do it yourself and you believe in yourself, you want me to invest money into you as a major label. You're looking for an investor to invest money into you, but you won't invest money into yourself? You're bugging. You're bugging the fuck out.
Some of the greatest stories in rap, like for example, Rockefeller, how it came about, was Hove, Dame, and Biggs investing their own money. There's like, we had this money from what we got.
Hove say it all the time. That's my idol, not to cut you off. That's my idol. Hove say it all the time. I came into the game 99,000 strong, 100 to be exact. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, literally, bro. Yeah. If you have the money and you have the resources, what are you hesitant for? Yeah. If you
That's
don't believe
a level
in yourself,
of freedom,
you know,
that anybody shoot for.
Exactly.
It's like I'm currently free right now, and I'm nowhere near $100,000. I wake up tomorrow with $100,000. You can't tell me nothing.
But you can't. You don't owe nobody. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, what are you looking to owe anybody for? You want the advancement, bro? You can get the advancement. Clean your credit up, establish credit history, go to the bank, get a loan. If you really want investment, if you really want somebody to give you money, fronting money to do whatever you have to do, go get a loan. Go to a bank. Don't own a record label. You feel me? Because that agreement is 100% according to whatever they stipulate.
Yeah, and they can always change it too. That's another thing,
always
folks.
Change it. There's something in the contract called an option to renew. When they have that option to renew in the contract, that means that despite your discretion, despite what you want, we can say, yo, listen, you owe us another year worth of material. You feel me?
And then there's the little details of projects, like, and I remember this was something that was alleged during Megan Thee Stallion's contract situation. It was something like, hey, forget just number of albums, we need 45-minute project. So if you don't, if you give us 40 minutes, this doesn't count. It doesn't. And I was reading on it, and I'm like, it's actually very freaking common.
It's true,
cool story, bro. But if you gave me a 40-minute mixtape and I want 45, you can't look at it like, oh man, like how artists do. Oh man, I got one more album, then I'm out the deal.
I'll be honest.
You're nowhere close to the deal, buddy. You just gave us free music.
Bro, I'll be honest with you. Even in my contract that I stipulate for my artists, listen, anything you do outside this term of agreement has no direct effect on mitigating or bringing down anything that has to do with this agreement. If you go do a single and you sign to us for a 4-single deal, if we don't approve to it, that single has nothing to do with us. Now, we can collect from that single if that single makes money. You feel what I'm saying? But we didn't approve of that. Yeah. You feel me? These labels, this game is shady, bro.
But it goes back to what I was saying earlier. Because again, it's about these details that are constantly coming out. You know what I mean? It's like with other creators, my fellow writers, podcasters, whatever. Folks be signing themselves in on bad deals where the splits aren't that good. You don't really own the rights to your stuff.
Your shit.
You don't get a piece of the advertising checks. And you just want to sign there because it's like, yo, it's this platform. It's like, look, I get it. At one point, I was big platform hungry too.
Right.
Arden's not lying to y'all. These are all facts. But it gets to a point where you realize, look, I'm better off being independent and building out my own stuff to where, for example, with this project I'm working on now with my boy Jihad, salute to him, I can now look at it and go, hey, G, we can pitch this. This is something that we can pitch to a platform.
I mean, every idea starts from someplace, you know? So look at Jeff Bezos, right? That's his name, Amazon?
Yep.
Look at him, you know what I'm saying? There's that picture that's circulating around the internet as a meme or whatever it may be, where he's sitting in a room and you have like literally...
The Amazon banner, right?
The Amazon banner, right? It starts from somewhere.
Yep.
You have to be an entrepreneur. You have to go for it. You feel me? I'm not investing in you if you're not even willing to invest in yourself. Majors, from Cash Money to Atlantic to Sony, anybody I spoke to last year, this year, has always told me, if you're not willing to put skin in the game, why would we?
Yeah.
Why would I put money behind you and you don't even want to put money behind yourself?
You trying to play them.
You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, it's that concept. You can't look at it like, oh, I'm looking for a deal, I'm looking for an advancement. Fucking advancement. What are you gonna do with an advancement?
Yeah.
You're gonna owe. You feel
Just
me?
owe and blow through it.
Look at Mac Miller. Look at Chance the Rapper. You feel me? Two prime examples of successful artists that are independent. They don't owe nobody. They may have a distribution deal here and there. You feel me? But they don't owe anybody anything. You feel what I'm saying?
And when they do enter in big label deals, similar to what Wiz even did, it's more of a partnership. It's a joint venture.
Joint venture, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we at with it. That's what we're doing with Label 9 now. We're offering opportunity for joint ventures, partnerships. Invest in yourself, bro. I'm not investing in you. I'm investing in my little brother. I'm investing in Prince Da Vinci. I'm investing in Jimmy Yayo, aka Vague. You know what I'm saying? I'm investing into Vibes, aka Alex Malone. Those are the people that I'm taking my actual money and saying, okay, here's $2,000 for a music video. Here's $2,000 for marketing, whatever it may be. Everybody else, you know, I want to work with you, but I'm already investing in 4 people. I'm not a multimillionaire yet. You feel me? So I'm gonna give you and do what I can do for you as I can. You know. Excuse my dog, Forsyth. You know.
Of course. We love the dogs here. Let's make that perfectly clear.
You know.
Forsyth loves animals. Let's make that perfectly clear, man.
100%,
Absolutely.
100%.
But just to switch gears here, man. I want to talk about home. You know, Westchester, even within the same time frame, has constantly seeing new faces, new everything.
100%.
And it's a community where everybody knows everybody. So it's very easy to get caught in the fray or to be a part of it. Just thinking about the community in itself musically, what are your initial feelings about Westchester's music scene?
I think it's getting bigger. I think it's going to be a major at some point, you know, because you have so many great artists, man. You have
And
Oakland.
Forsyth, we're helping. We're trying to make it more major.
Bro,
tell you that.
listen, I see what y'all doing, bro. We have Oakland Winthrop. We have Johnny Price. We have Quentin Gilmore. We have, you know, who else is out there? Boogie Nation, Stunning Game. We have, you know, Flash Mob Racks. We have myself. We have Jay Benz. We have Prince Da Vinci.
It's a long list.
It's a long list of just dope, talent, great artists. And that's why we're here. It's like, I have the major connects. You know, You know, people know me already as Dajour, King Buddha, JD Kiss nephew, whatever it may be. And there's just my own connects, period, of what I've established in my network over the years. You know, I can get you to radio. I can get you to BET. I can get you to MTV. I can get you to all those platforms, any of those levels that you can either afford or that your buzz allows us to have leverage and conversation. You know, one of the two, if not both. You know what I'm saying? I can get you there, you know what I'm saying? So it's like when you have Westchester, you have all these great artists, then you have a resource like myself for for radio campaigns, whatever it may be. You know, you have a machine, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, you have digital marketing through us. You have Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, SoundCloud, whatever it may be. We service all of it, you know what I'm saying? And Westchester is going to be a force to be reckoned with pretty soon. I want to say within the next year or two. Quentin Gilmore is one of my favorite artists coming out right now, if I'm being honest.
Shout out to
He's
Q.
one of my favorite artists right now, if I'm being 100% honest. There's another cat to look out for, Superstar Ra. Superstar Ra, he's a GOAT. He's a youngin', but he's slowly becoming a GOAT. You know, so it's all these people that we have that, you know, cumulatively make up this Westchester movement, this borough movement. New York is coming back, you know, and they just need to connect. And I just want to be that connect. I want to be that bridge. I want to be that person that literally you sit down and talk with me, and if everything lines up, if everything makes sense, I can change your life overnight. That's my goal. If I'm being transparent with you, bro, that's 100% my goal.
And even when you're just speaking about, again, just being able to help people out, and again, we spoke a lot about independence as well. That's something that is honestly a underlying factor to Westchester's growth musically, is that there are a lot of independent artists, which means there are a lot of independent platforms.
Right, 100%.
But on the flip side, for a negative, that means so many people are going to be caught up in what they do,
Right.
that they may not know an opportunity to accept help or to work with others. How do you necessarily deal with that? And not even from the investment standpoint, because you got your folks who you invested in, but in terms of, again, in our home, certain artists, you're really dope. You can be bigger than what you are. I want to help you. It's not on some bring you under the wing, but how do you get artists to understand that like, we can be partners and I can help you for this particular thing without them taking offense and thinking like, oh, you trying to sun me,
right,
bring you under the wing and whoop-de-whoop, because that is a very big thing, man.
That's the New York crab in the barrel mentality, you know what I'm saying? You have to be willing to deal with that and ready to deal with that as far as dealing with those kind of artists. How I personally deal with it, I just talk to you, you know? I tell you what I've done. I tell you, Google my first name. I know no narcissistic shit. If you type in Dajour, Dajour, in Google, so much shit'll pop up about me. All my accolades, my whole resume come up, you know what I'm saying? I can do for you what I've done for myself easily. It's a phone call for me, you know what I'm saying? As far as the approach goes, I kind of just talk to artists on a real level. It's like, yo, bro, listen, you know, you can sit here and stay in the same position or go the slow growth route, or I can assist you and take you a little bit farther, quicker than what you could have did by yourself. It's a resource. At the end of the day, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah.
If you're connected to somebody that knows people that can get you certain things, you're good. You know what I'm saying? So long as you got the buzz and or budget. You know what I'm saying? But realistically, I do come across that where artists feel like, yo, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, you're trying to sun me. I just talked to an artist recently, like literally within the last 2 days, that felt disrespected because of something I said. And I was like, yo, brother, I wasn't trying to play you. I'm trying to let you know that what you're offering me and what your expectations are, I can't help you. You know, now if we up one of the two or if we downgrade one of the two, we can make something happen. You know, so it's all about your pride and your ego. You know what I'm saying? Especially in New York, my G. We like I said, look at the climate of the world that we're in right now. We have enough against us already. You know what I'm saying? What y'all need to understand is that, listen, we're stronger together than we are divided. Of course. You know what I'm saying? So if I can help you in any capacity, I don't need no money from you up front. You know what I'm saying? It just propels what I'm trying to do behind the scenes even more so. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it just goes into artistry and how they feel personally, you know? So that's where we're at with it. And, you know, so far, a lot of artists have dealt with us and are dealing with us in the sense that, yo, listen, egos aside, you're somewhere I'm trying to get and above and beyond. So let's work. You know, so I haven't really ran into that problem of ego 100% yet, but you know, it is still prevalent. It is still there. It is still very much a variable, especially when you're talking about New York artists, especially when you're talking about borough artists, Westchester artists. You know what I'm saying? It's just a barrier that we have to overcome, and we will overcome it. You know, and I'm not worried about it.
And you know, and again, when they're speaking, you know, about this aspect of your life, the Westchester dynamic, for the folks that know you, again, knowing not only just Label 9, but they remember at the start of Label 9 with you and, of course, PJ.
Yeah.
And then this was something that it was very easy to just remember, and I give you guys credit for that, because a lot of crews come together or a lot of duos come together and they all have their names or whatever, but very few stick out to you. And I remember you and PJ and I go way back to middle school.
Wow.
And I remember just remembering Label 9, bow, PJ and Dajour, bow. And then I remember the same feeling of wow when hearing that you guys weren't working together anymore. I was genuinely shocked. And when even going back to what you was talking about, you're somebody, I remember telling you this off air, and you kind of confirmed it. People either like or love you, or folks have negative things to say about you. And it seems like what happened with you and PJ with Label 9 contributed to that. And this is something that for folks that are in the know, mine is me because I know.
100%.
I know very well. But there's a lot of people that don't. So this is going to be a multi-layer thing. First things first.
Oh, man.
With Label 9, why did you and PJ split apart?
To understand why we split apart, you gotta understand why we got together in the first place. I actually met PJ through YB.
Okay. Shout out YB as always.
100%. My initial goal was to get YB, you know, because she was doing what she had to do. She was connected, and I felt like, you know, if I network with her, if I do some videos with her, if I work with her, you know, I'll have access to a bigger network, you know. Shout out my dog that's barking again. But you know, as far as why we split, it was sort of a mutual agreement. You know, me and PJ to this day, we don't have any beef, you know. It's all love. As a matter of fact, we just spoke, I want to say about 2-3 days ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's 100% love, you know. We split because when you have two dynamic alpha male mentalities in one room, it's certain to clash. There's no question. You know, he has a way he wants to do things. I have a way I want to do things. You know what I'm saying? When the unanimous decision is split, you know, amongst 4, 5, 6 people, whatever it may be, it's hard to kind of finalize and decide what we're going to do moving forward. And that's what it constantly was, you know. It was just that. It was just like, yo, listen, I want to do this. You want to do that. How do we handle this? How do we conclude this? How do we come about a solution? And we just found ourselves running into that wall too much. And we decided to go our separate ways, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't no beef, it wasn't no I see you when I see you. PJ and I both will know where each other live. If PJ has static with me, he'll pop up in my crib. If I have static with PJ, I'll pop up at his crib. You feel what I'm saying? Never nothing like that. It's all love. That's my big brother. At the end of the day, if I'm being 100% honest with you, Label 9 is a name that PJ came up with. I always had the business aptitude and the mindset and the know-how to make it happen. He always had the name, you know, and the connects, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? In addition to my connects. And when you put that together, you have Label 9, you know? So as far as the actual company goes, I actually own 100% of the company. The company was formatted in my name. The company was organized in my name. You know, not to get into too much business and financials, but out of 100%, I paid about 90% of making the company a thing, you know? So that's why the company stayed with me. And once we split, I spoke to PJ and in quote, in his words, he said, yo, bro, I never ever sweated anything that happened between us because I know as long as Label 9 is cared for by you, it's taken care of, you know? And that was powerful to me. That was dope, you know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, regardless of whatever percentage it may be, 80%, 90%, 100%, 50%, 40%, 30%, there's always a piece of pie here for PJ. That's my big brother.
I love
you know, that's the only dude that I know my whole life when it came to shooting a video. If I had my hat like this, PJ would come up to me, fix my hat, brush my shoulders off, make sure my clothes was good. That was my big brother. That is my big brother, you know what I'm saying? So it's all love at the end of the day, you know? It's just that I'm carrying the mantle and the torch of Label 9 as of right now. And, you know, we're trying to make it a thing, you know? We're not even trying to, we're making it a thing. And, you know, that's just where it's at right now. So, you know, as far as why we split, you know, we just disagreements. You know, we agreed to disagree and we went our separate ways. You know?
And speaking towards the end of that, you mentioned how, again, PJ, I guess we could say, basically gave his blessing. He was like, look, as long as it's under your name, I'm good. And it matches up with what PJ told me
100%.
when this was late last year. And he was like, hey, he was like, when it came to the name, he was like, I looked at Dajour and was like, yo, bro, you can have that. It's good. You know, but even with that blessing, though, was it easy or was it hard to continue?
It's hard. It's hard every day to continue because that's my brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta understand. We went from hotel rooms to tours to radio to video shoots. Like, we had fun, bro. The original Label 9, the first iteration of Label 9, we had fun, bro.
It looked like a lot of fun.
We did everything, bro, from out of state to, you know what I mean, excuse me, but females to whatever it may be. We had fun. Not to say PJ was indulging in females.
Thank you.
Let me clear that up.
Thank you.
But, you know, we just had fun. Like, it was just legitimate fun, you know? And we didn't have a lot of clashing moments, you know? We had just here and there, and it was just like, yo, listen, you have to grow, I have to grow, let's go our separate ways. And as long as Label 9 is underneath one of us, we're Gucci.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I got Label 9 tatted on me. I don't even know how many times this is.
That's a lot.
I'm the only one out of Label 9 out of the first iteration of Label 9 to have Label 9 tatted on me. You feel me? Because this for me was a brand. It's a movement. It's a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? And it's never going nowhere. You feel me? Regardless if we make it or not. Label 9 is always going to be a thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it was for me. And it's hard at times because there's times where we built a new studio. We're about to go on tour once everything opens back up. We have so many new artists with dope talent, this, that, and third, that I wish I can just get on the phone and say, yo, P, we doing this, that, and third, we gotta go down here like we used to do, but unfortunately we're not there as of right now. So, you know, it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? So it definitely is hard at times, but, you know, at the end of the day, once everything is solidified, once we get where we need to get, once we get where we're trying to go, it's always open for PJ. You know, Jose Torres, I know his government, that's my brother. You know, so at the end of the day, whatever it may be, you know, we'll be good. You know, so that, you know, and that's what keeps me going. That's what lets me get through the hard times of not, you know, at that time, not being able to pick up the phone and call them automatically, you know, so.
And I think that's big for you to admit because, you know, I'm all for us men, especially, you know, black men, being able to just embrace the emotions. You know, like I'm
100%.
somebody that I tell people all the time, like I'm an emotional person, but not outwardly.
Facts.
Inwardly, I'm very much an emotional person.
Facts.
But I embrace that. It's like you got to learn how to embrace your emotions, and you got to embrace certain things. Like our generation, especially with the environment we grew up in, we were honestly all conditioned to be very homophobic, or to
100%.
think like, yo, you're soft if you embrace your emotions, or
definitely, bro.
you know, if you were younger, like in high school, if PJ just actually wanted, like, yo, let me just like fix that, make sure you're good. It's like, yo, pause. Hey, yo,
Especially when you're talking about
you
West
hella gay.
Indies.
Like, what is this?
We're
Like,
talking about West Indies and Jamaican parents like I have, you know.
Yeah.
It's definitely looked at a certain way, but you know, it just the times we in, bro. It's just like, you know, it's love at the end of the day.
certain ways of communication.
Yeah,
just
know?
even being like, yo, like, that's my brother. Like, I miss him. I got love, or I love you. Just whatever. It's always been looked down upon. And even when you and PJ had that call, that I'm happy I was able to assist in.
Right.
It's like I said, I felt like it was super dope because of the fact that, again, as men, we've been conditioned to, even in that aspect, hey, yo, we think as long as everything's good on our side, then that's all we need. And it's like, no. Like, yes, you start off, it's like relationships, like you and Shorty fall apart, y'all need your own time.
Space, right.
Work on yourselves. But when things are good and Gucci, and if it's right, yeah, let each other know, like, yo, it's good, it's whatever, nothing is love. Like, I'm not trying to run into you in the street and it's an awkward tension.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, nah, like, let people know. That's why I was happy y'all did that.
Facts, that's my brother, man. At the end of the day, nothing's gonna change, no matter, despite what happened behind the scenes that, you know, I don't want to get into
of course,
too
and
much
rightfully
detail
so.
about. But, you know, despite whatever happened behind the scenes, that's still my brother, you know what I'm saying? If he's sinking, I'm gonna swim out and save him. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. Like, I'm not, like, on my watch, you always taken care of. You always got a platform to come home to. You know what I'm saying? It's here for you, you feel what I'm saying? And even when we was moving and we would be out in New Road, whatever it may be in Westchester, and people would be like, yo, PJ, Label 9, bro, I'm trying to be a part of it. Even though at those times, I was 100% on it. Even though at those times, bro, I was just stay quiet because it's like, yo, this is my big brother. You You know, my little brother Jay Benz is one of my artists. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to me, he don't say nothing. He play his part. You feel me? That's what a little brother's supposed to do. Play your part, support your bigger brother. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I did, you know, and that's what I continue to do. That's my big brother. At the end of the day, he's taken care of. I don't care what's going on in his life, you know what I'm saying? So 100% agree. I'm glad that we had that conversation, you know what I'm saying? It was about time anyway.
Yeah.
You know, and that's my brother, you know what I'm saying? He's good in my book, you know. It's no static, it's no, you know, nothing, you know. That's 100% love, you know. It's just some relationships, even, you know, not to even get too deep, even with my biological pops, we love each other better from afar.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like some relationships is like that. We love each other from a distance. You know, and that's just the way it is, you know, and that's what it is. So, you know, I pray for PJ's success. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the platform is always open for him to come back home to. So that's not even a question, you know.
To even go back to an earlier point, you know, as we're near the end, again, just going back to, you know, Label 9 now, and again, even just so far today, I've been able to see that dope dynamic between you, Lil Bro, Prince, Matt, and just see what you guys are doing right now. What are some of your biggest hopes and dreams for them?
For them specifically, or Label 9? Okay. For them specifically, I just want to make a difference, you know. I didn't have an older brother. If I'm being honest with you and I'm being transparent, I didn't even know you can record in the studio until I was 17. I had no idea. I always thought that you had to be a celebrity or some major artist to record in the actual official studio. My first time in a studio to record was Rough Riders.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? In Yonkers. You know what I'm saying? I was 17 years old. I've been rapping since I was rapping, singing, dancing, whatever it may be, since I was 14 years old. You know what I'm saying? So you're talking about, you know, 15, 16, 17. You're talking about 3-4 years into doing this that I didn't even realize that you can record in the studio. So for me, it's just to give them the network and the resources that I didn't have and that I didn't understand at a younger age, you know. Growing up underneath Kiss, Styles, Chic Luch, the whole Locks, the D-Block, whole conglomerate, you know, being on tours from Rock the Bells to SOB performances, sold out concerts, whatever it may be, just seeing that growing up and not being able to be a part of that. From now, I'm opening up for Afrobeat, I'm opening up for Ding Dong, I'm opening up for Spice, I'm opening up for Jada Kingdom, all these different names and celebrity. You know, I want to be able to give them the same resources that I didn't have a chance to have access to. My little brother can literally wake up, roll out his bed, and go to the recording studio with official equipment. Not some, and not to take shots at nobody, but not some setup in a room. You know, official booth, official mixing equipment, you know, official plugins, whatever it may be. That's a resource in a lane that I didn't have access to that I want to give to them. You know, Matt being my cameraman, that's like my brother. We planning the trip to Puerto Rico right now as we speak. You feel what I'm saying? I'm out of here. I'm trying to do my thing. I'm trying to do my thing, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, these are my brothers, you know. I look at everybody as family. You know, realistically, what a lot of people don't know about me, I was raised in Yonkers, New York, but I was born and my family is from Alabama, Tuscaloosa to be exact. So I have that natural Southern hospitality inside of me to see others and do for others and love others from jump.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is for me. And what I see for my little brother, when we talk about Matt, when we talk about Prince Da Vinci, when we talk about Vague, when we talk about Vibes, when we talk about all these different artists that we're working with, I just want to see y'all win, because if y'all win, I win. You know, I don't have to pop with a major single no more. I don't want the headache of paparazzi and just people in my business on a constant day-to-day. What I want is to live through y'all. You know, I want my little brother's experiences to be mine. So when he goes out and he's popping and he gets approached by 30, 50 people, whatever it may be, for autographs, signatures, whatever it may be, that makes me happy. You know what I'm saying? Because I played a hand in that. You know what I'm saying? From artist development to marketing to liaison of a deal, whatever it may be. That's my excitement. That's my joy. You know what I'm saying? And I can live in a motherfucking villa and mansion with my daughter, my girl, her daughter, whatever it may be. And I'm cool. I let my little brother deal with the paparazzi and all that extra bullshit. Like, you feel me? Like, he'll deal with that. Me, I'm chilling, bro. I'm just trying to have a couple of sixes in the front of the crib. You know what I mean? A couple of SLSs and a Range Rover or two, and I'm calm. You feel me? I'm chilling. You feel me? So that's where I'm at with it. You know?
Absolutely, man. Hey, that honestly was the perfect way to end this interview.
100%.
The Punchin', latest edition, G behind the cam. Got Dajour with me, Label 9. Good stuff as always, my guy. Seriously, excellent stuff, man.
100%.
Stay safe. Talk to you next time.
Okay.